Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. A question that was recently asked was, how can one achieve this balance between ambitious and realistic goals, and how should one go about doing that? So, setting ambitious and realistic goals can be really challenging, to be honest. But it's important to strike a balance between the two in order to achieve success. Achieving this balance starts with a clear understanding of our own abilities, resources, and constraints. It's important to take into account the amount of time, money, and effort we need or we have available to devote to our goals, as well as any external factors that may affect the outcome. One way to think about this is to set both short term and long term goals. The short term goals are smaller, more manageable goals that are achieved within a short period of time. These goals can help you build momentum and gain a sense of accomplishment as you work towards your longer term goals. Long term goals are larger, more ambitious goals that take longer to achieve. These goals should be challenging but realistic and should align with our overall vision and values. When setting goals, it's also important to break them down into smaller, more manageable steps. This can help make the goal feel less daunting and more achievable. Additionally, it's important to have a plan for how we will achieve our goals and to have a clear understanding of the resources that will be needed to bring that to life. For example, instead of setting a goal to graduate from undergraduate in 1 year, we could set a goal to take a certain number of classes per semester or to maintain a certain GPA. These smaller steps will help to make the overall goal more achievable and will give a sense of progress and accomplishment along the way. Another important aspect of setting ambitious yet realistic goals is to consider our own abilities and resources. It is essential to take into account our own strengths and weaknesses, as well as the resources available to us when setting a goal. This will help us identify any potential obstacles and to plan accordingly. Additionally, it is also important to be realistic about the amount of time and effort required to achieve the goal. When it is important to be ambitious, it is also important to be realistic about the resources we have available at our disposal and the amount of time it will take to achieve the goal. Lastly, it is paramount to keep in mind that setting goals is not a one time process. It is an ongoing process and requires review and adjustment. It is natural to face obstacles and challenges, and it is important to be flexible and adapt to changing circumstances. The goal setting process is an iterative process, and it is important to be able to adapt and adjust as needed. In summary, to achieve a balance between ambitious and realistic goals, it is important to break down our goals into smaller, more manageable steps. That's number one. Take into account our own abilities and resources. That's number two. Third is be realistic about the time and effort required. And lastly, regularly review and adjust the goals as needed. And I'll give an example of the constraint that we have. Every single individual living on planet Earth has no more than 24 hours in the day, whether he's a billionaire or someone living on the street. Doesn't matter. The constraint of time is there. Now, the other thing on the resources side is one person who has more wealth or resources, he or she can hire someone else to do the work and leverage those resources to get more done. Whereas a person who doesn't have such amount of wealth that they can hire someone, they can either hire someone from a country where the wage is less, for example China or Philippines, or they can do the work themselves. But regardless, the 24 hours are the same and the resources are also a constraint. So we have to think about the balance between ambitious and realistic goals within the constraint of the resources. Thank you.